And welcome in, Gyms and Gymettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. I'm your host, Nick Johnston. This is episode 25 on the agenda. And yes, John Cena, you may enjoy some time with your friends. Happy 4th of July, baby. You might be hearing some fireworks going off as I'm talking today. And that's what we're doing. We're still recording, still enjoying our day. We were rocking and rolling. So it was nice. Mike is out right now. He's collecting some of his fingers, unfortunately. He had a little wild day. It was that's why he isn't here. I'm just kidding. He's got some family oblos, like I said, but the door is open. He might be joining anytime soon. Might be. We'll might make a little pit stop. Who knows? Either way, thank you as always for tuning in to No Substitute for Sports on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. If you're just stumbling upon us, hit the subscribe button. Only after you hit the like button on this video as well. Maybe share us around. Tell your friends. Tell your coworkers. Tell whoever. Like I said, if you're at the hospital, tell as long as you got other fingers, then tell us about it. You click, you got to do a little clickety clackety with the keyboard, so you got to get all your fingers together. Like I said, uh, follow us on Twitter at Degenerates, and every Friday, 1 p.m. Central, roughly, I go live on twitch.tv/SportsTownShy for no substitute for sports live, cleaning up anything we don't get to here and any possible breaking news. Either way, check us out over there everywhere. And thanks again. Plenty to talk about today. NBA free agency began Friday afternoon, and it's been lukewarm in my opinion, not quite red hot just yet. We'll see how that goes. Reactions to the players that have moved so far, and a lot of staying put, just actually to be honest. But either way, that's what we'll be talking about. Next, MLB All-Star game is right around the corner. Talk about the starters, the reserves, and the snubs from this season, along with some other baseball stories that we got for you. Finally, keeping it tight today, like I said, it's a 4th of July episode, so don't want to keep you here too long. Finally, wrapping it up with some wrestling per usual. We got Money in the Bank results, a cease and desist, and no more Jade Cargill? Question mark. Eh. All of that, tons more. But without further ado, let's hop into some appetizers, shall we? If you weren't aware, if you're in the Chicagoland area, you witnessed history with the Chicago Street Race, the NASCAR series, the little street race series. That was actually pretty cool. Not gonna lie, just my raw reaction from just like I said, just being not even a casual, just first naturally just paying attention to any sort of NASCAR event in any sort of capacity. To be honest, it was fun. I felt like it represented the city nicely. The only thing, I guess, the only detractor, to be honest, was the rain. Was the fact that it shortened it a little bit. From a lot of point of views on their cameras and whatnot. It was just a monsoon for whatnot from a lot of point of views. The stands and just the muddy areas around them not so good, but the race was all right. Race was cool. Like I said, just shortened it. It was actually worthwhile seeing not the crashes, but just there was actually a big old pile up, so that was fun to see as well. But I don't know if you're ranting and raving for Carnage, that was cool. Just the race, the traditions and whatnot that come with it. It was nice. It was nice to see. And of course, I mean they're on the street. This is the first time they were doing this in any sort on a street for races. It was fun to see just as the course was going on, as the race was continuing, and it was kind of drying up. So there was a lot of factors to consider. And like I said, not knowing really anything, not knowing what to pay attention to in a NASCAR event, and what can actually be going on. The far and few in between were the first place and second place people, but when they kept it close, it was entertaining. The resets and everything like that. Yeah, Noah Grayson just Wendy's car could not make that turn and figure it out over there. We were joking up in our group chats about that, but overall, the race was nice. If it was the only detractor being the weather, I think that's a-okay. Maybe Justin Fields not having the most energetic start your engine. Maybe that could have been a revved up somewhat, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man? I got nothing on that one. I mean, I guess yeah, everyone was just pointing to the God bless America. God bless our troops. And ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. I mean, nothing's gonna top that ever. Nothing's ever gonna top that. So it's a hard. It can't really compare. Can't really compare those two. Let me just quickly see. Besides that, I mean, between Saturday and Sunday being the events, there was 20 unauthorized cars racing on the track at night. Hey, it's Chicago. I figured something like this was bound to happen. I mean, given the opportunity, our buddy Kyle had a pretty good idea. Just if they were given the opportunity to sell tickets and for people to just drive on their course with the regular cars, that would have been a pretty good ticket option for the NASCAR. That would have been sold out really quick. But I know, of course, having something like this is super dangerous if professionals are wiping out on this course going, 120, 150. I can only imagine what a bunch of hooligans are doing when they get up to 70 and they can't turn. So I didn't look into the details of what happened, who's gonna get what, but hey, that's that's a okay. That's actually pretty funny. Like I said, welcome to Chicago NASCAR. It was bound to happen, something like that. Yeah, I would throw it up to the people in the comments or whatever. Do you feel like it represented the city well? Like I said, the point of watching it and then the far away shots panning away. I remember the Saturday they were saying because there was lightning, they couldn't use those far away shots for the cameras up in the basically up in the trees essentially. There was that. Yeah, they had to use some lower to the ground cameras, so you didn't get the best vantage point on Saturday. Sunday was a little bit better. So, like I said, you got a really good taste of how big the track was, where everything was, how I guess dangerous it could be, how tight it could be around corners. So again, for being completely not disengaged from NASCAR, not knowing anything, honestly. Other than I know you just got to put the keys in the starter and get it in. But at this point, that probably isn't even how you get how you get race cars started anymore. They probably just have a push button little thing or like the movies. That's just how I imagine it. So like I said, really showing my ass here about how little I know about the NASCAR, but from the I would only hope that if like I said, I wouldn't even label myself a casual in any sort of sense. I barely pay attention. The only last time I bet on it, I only bet on NASCAR because I saw again Noah Gragson leading in the Wendy's car. I was like, oh, I like Wendy's. I'll bet on that guy. And it was far enough odds, and I think he finished damn near dead last the first time I bet on him. I think he didn't even finish this race. So yeah, that was that. That was the Chicago street race. I know they're going to be doing more. Hopefully, they come around again. Hopefully, in better conditions. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't really think of anything else other than just course looked nice. If it was only nicer weather-wise, it would have been a beautiful, beautiful time. And yeah, I'm sure everyone loved it. I know from just hearing from other stations and hearing other broadcasts and stuff like that. The racers love the engagement. They love this time. It was fun interacting with fans and whatnot. So again, if the only pullback was the weather, so be it. It was a fun time. Fun time. Seemed like a pretty good event, and I hope they do it again. Run it back. That was the Chicago street race. I had one little filler appetizer. But before that, let me tease something on Friday. Gonna be open up one of these bad boys. If you see little blaster pack of some select, I was lucky enough to get a Walmart restock right in front of my face. So I held tight, I held down the fort, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna grab one of them bad boys." A lot of people pulling some pretty good things out of the mega boxes. I was only fortunate enough to grab one of these blaster packs, one of these blaster boxes. But like I said, similar to what we did in the second episode of No Substitute for Sports Live, I'll be cracking this one open for No Substitute for Sports Live ever number 9 this upcoming Friday. We got exactly that. I'll be pulling the 6 packs, 4 cards. Of one out of the 4 cards will determine who or what team we talk about schedule wise. Maybe I'll pull up some betting odds on some stuff. Of course, any leading, any drama, any headliners that are coming in, any free agents that are rolling away, or some people that they just signed. No, like I said, if we're talking about the Bears, I'll be talking about all the free agency ads that we just had, plus their, you know, what I think their overall the what the record is going to be. So again, fun little interaction. If I pull something neato, I think, of course, obviously that's always fun. Giveaway, possibly. I don't know. There isn't anything guaranteed besides they always got to throw per box on average. They got to throw that in really really small fine print. Find 3 blaster exclusive red. Oh geez, red and blue prism. So of course, like I said, you want the gold prism. A lot of people seeing the snake cut, the zebra cut, the tie dye. Those are all what you want. 1 out of 99s, 1 out of 25. So it'll be fun. Like I said, just want to tease the Friday show, what we'll be doing over there. And overall, I think in the incoming time on this show over here on the Tuesday side, on the YouTube side of things, just like I said, just doing some house cleaning. This will be one of the last episodes besides the next episode that we're going to be talking NFL. It's coming up 9 more Sundays, if I'm not mistaken. 9 more Sundays after this week, and we'll be finally having some NFL in our laps to enjoy. So that'll be fun. Very much looking forward to that. So I'll just be Mike and I will be doing exactly what we did last year on the Degenerates podcast. We'll be going division by division, talking all 4 teams in said division, spinning it the week before to determine who we got. So like I said, we'll be prepared, talking who's going to win the division. They're all individual records. Like I said, what to look forward to headline wise / even fantasy wise. There you go. Teasing some fantasy right there as well. Always love talking that. All that will lead up to the final week without football, and that will be exactly that. Maybe determining it depending on that. We'll see if we already talked about the NFC North. That'll be a final hoorah, like I said, episode to really hunker down, talk about the Bears, and yes, even like I said, even though he isn't here, we'll still be talking about the Packers. It still has to happen. It still has to happen, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Like I said, that's all coming up very much in the very near future. But on Friday, like I said, join us on the twitch.tv/sportstownshy. I'll be cracking this bad boy open. Giveaways, I don't know, but DM me if you want something from the box. If I pull it and I don't want, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, wheeling and dealing, always selling something, always be closing. bit.ly/no sub bets. No one's signing up. It's okay. It is what it is. Gotta be gamble responsibly. Be 21 and over for that, and be in Illinois. Just might as well throw that in there. We're all over the place, but that's okay. We'll wrap it up with a quick little appetizer, and we'll get into the juicy goodness that we call the sports. Saw 10 was announced via the Saw Facebook. That's how I saw it. Wow, didn't mean to do that, but again, it is what it is. Excited, or has the series jumped the shark? I'll quickly answer it with both. I'll answer it. It's simply both. I'm a little excited. I'm hopefully they're a little not more self-aware now, I think, with the movies, so they'll be a little goofy possibly. I actually didn't see the last, was it Spiral or Jigsaw? I haven't seen those last few, so if that's going to be the continuing storyline, I don't know. Either way, probably coming sometime in Halloween time. I'm sure that's what that was their big draw, that they would always come out like Halloween night or the couple days before Halloween. So I'm always a big fan of the Saw series. I sat down and actually, the beginning, the first one was pretty, pretty indie style, pretty raw and cut. I know that there's a big twist at the end, whether or not you even know it, but it's kind of spoiled for a lot of people. But uh, solid film like I said, in terms of the idea, execution falls flat most of the time. but they're not getting grade A acting. They're not getting grade A actors. You got the wrong Wahlberg in this series, but it's Saw. It's Saw. It's fun. Just seeing Billy and Billy the Kid, Billy on his little tricycle. Hey, how you doing? Riding around, talking all that smack. It's fun. This I that's if we're pulling anything back, and we're always relying on old things and rebooting series or just having sequels constantly. The Saw, in my opinion, can get a pass because it's almost like it's kind of entered that little phase like Jason or Freddy Krueger series where you might as well just churn them out. People are going to go see them. There, and that's gonna be it. That's just gonna be the big Halloween type movie, and yeah, I mean between that, what else gonna go see? The Red Insidious Red Door. That's just gonna be jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. Well, I want to get a little psychological thriller in me. I'm gonna go see some Saw. So that's where I'll be coming probably, I don't know, October 2025 at this point. 2024. It's still 2023. So yeah, probably into Halloween next year. I'm excited. Slash, I know it's jumped the shark. I know where it has been. I know exactly what I'm going into when I see these movies. Still fun, nevertheless. Anyways, getting into some NBA free agency. I'll be talking about some of my favorite moves so far, I suppose. Not a lot of moves. Most underrated, possibly, maybe the best move still to be made. Like I said, let's go ahead and take a look at the tracker. I've been looking at some different teams, some different squads, just a free agency tracker by team actually. Atlanta Hawks haven't done much. I guess Rudy Gay via trade. Good for them. The Boston Celtics haven't done anything besides the trade. Brooklyn Nets. I guess Cam Johnson's back, Dennis Smith Jr.'s back, and Lonnie Walker. There we go. LaMelo Ball for the Hornets. There we go. This was actually a big one. I don't know if anyone's harping or raving or rant and raving. I don't know what the overall consensus is. This is a good move by the Hornets, obviously locking down their superstar in LaMelo Ball. You paid a pretty penny. I think you're gonna get your money's back in it. Contending for a title anytime soon. I don't know. He's gonna need some help, but good move. Good job. This is exactly what if I was if I was somehow some way a Charlotte Hornets fan, they're very far and few in between. I would be very excited. I'd be jumping off the jumping wall to wall, knowing that LaMelo Ball is back on the squad for uh, like 215 over the next 5-6 years or something like that. Hey, okay, good job, kiddo. That's how you do it. And just as I give props to a franchise, like I said, who's in the dirt, and they're very much far behind as the Charlotte Hornets are, but they did something nice. Here's the Bulls in a similar situation, and here are the names we got: Javion Carter, Torrey Craig, and Kobe White for 3, 2, and 3 respectively. Awful moves. And again, this is coming off of extending Vooch. What are the Bulls doing? And I'll maybe spoiler alert when we get down to the Phoenix or to Philadelphia. Patrick Beverly signs with Philadelphia, so we lose that. I don't. Again, maybe showing my ass, not knowing who these role players are. I don't know who Javion Carter is. Don't know where he's coming from. Torrey Craig, same difference. And I've been probably since Kobe White's rookie year afterward, I've been saying let's get him off the team and we extend him for 3 more years. I'm not happy. I'm not happy as a Bulls fan. This is awful. This is awful. This is terrible. I don't have enough. There's not a I don't have a thesaurus around to get as many adjectives, adverb, whatever else, nouns, pronouns, whatever else to describe how terrible this is. I want to throw up. There's nothing that the Bulls are doing that is that should be getting Bulls fans excited. I'm getting upset. It's awful. There's nothing to look forward to. And the big news again being that I guess we're gonna clear up a little cap space now that won't be paying Lonzo as much because they're just trying to get rid of that contract altogether. He's not going to be returning anytime soon. This is terrible. This is if you are still a like excited, hyped up Bulls fan right now, you are delusional. Simply put, you are delusional. You should be as pissed off as I am right now. I said it on the Friday show. Why we can't the Bulls cannot. I can't keep saying we and associating myself with this god awful franchise right now. The Bulls are setting themselves up for failure. They're setting themselves. It's psychotic what they're doing, asking the same team to come back essentially, and expecting something different. It is the definition of insanity when you're doing the exact same thing and you're expecting something different over and over and over again. It's not going to happen. The Bulls, this whatever roster we have right now, the Bulls have right now, is not viable for a championship. It's barely viable for a play-in spot. They can barely be the 10th seed, is what I'm saying. Without without DeMar DeRozan's daughter, do the Bulls even win that game? Who knows? Who knows? That was with all the fun and yes, all fun and jokes aside, but honestly, there was a mental game. There was a mental edge to that game that could have played a part. This is awful. I hate this. I hate every second of what the Bulls are doing. The only thing that could be possibly redeeming is getting a huge, humongous haul from Zach LaVine trade. If they're still trying to trade Zach LaVine, there's been zero to. I've only heard Twitter rumors and Twitter accounts. The diehard Bulls fan on Twitter or whatever it is, chirping and tweeting everything left and right. But nothing from the official Bulls, nothing from analysts and beat reporters. I've seen nothing. The Zach LaVine trade talk in my mind, it's gone cold. Nothing is happening. Frustrating. Frustrating is going to be the word for the next some odd seasons, and unless something drastic, I've said this for the White Sox as well. Unless something drastic happens, there's some huge renaissance in this roster again, where Reinsdorf wants to like, hey, I have money. I can just start spending that on the teams that I've bought and invested all this time in. Not going to happen anytime soon. What the Bulls do, oh my god, what the Bulls are going to continue to just disappoint and pull in names that we just don't care for, and I'm just not looking forward to it. Not looking forward to it. Is that good enough for some Bulls check in or something like that? Again, hopefully that'll probably hopefully be the last time I have to talk about this until Zach LaVine gets traded. And like I said, what can we get from that? I don't know. Hopefully a big old massive haul of either another solid name or some trade picks to look forward to. Something. Give us something as Bulls fans to get excited about. But you're not. It's not going to happen. Continuing on the free agency tracker, basically looking team by team. Yeah, nothing too crazy on the Cavaliers side, other than actually more or less related to the Heat side. They've lost two of their big bench acquisitions or big undrafted free agents from this championship run. Max Strus goes to Cleveland, and I believe Gabe Vincent is headed to the Lakers. If you planned on the Miami, maybe with the Lillard rumors of him headed to Miami, I think that could help out for sure. But again, that's all rumors. That's all hearsay. Unless the Heat do something like that, I don't think the Heat are going to be back in any sort of contention for the championship anytime soon. You can get playoff Jimmy every single day. It's still not going to happen. Sorry. So again, nothing too crazy on the Cavaliers side. Seth Curry joins the Dallas Mavericks after some time. And the other big one was Kyrie Irving extending for 3 years, returns for a 3-year deal. Fine. That's fine. As long as they can figure him out, as long as he can stay. I mean, you're only going to get 50 games out of him at most between his insanity, injury, and just player loading or load management. That's what they like to call it. you're only going to get 50, 60 games out of this guy at most. So yeah, I mean, that's you're gonna hopefully just you first got to get over the hump and actually get into the playoffs. That was a problem last year. Very embarrassing in that situation. But yeah, this will help. Irving, I think Seth Curry, Dante Exum agrees to a 1 year deal. Fine, it's a pretty solid little guard little quarrel of guards, and then of course Luka Doncic, who's essentially every single position. I actually like Dwight Powell as well. So the Dallas Mavericks, see Chicago. That's how what a franchise does. They get position players and role players, but still name worthy and worth a shit. Sorry, Torrey Craig, if you stumble upon this, if it's even your name, did I get that right? Yeah. Sorry, bud. Prove me wrong. I say that every episode, in some sort of capacity. Prove me wrong. Maybe we can get a Torrey Craig jersey by the end of this year. I'll fucking turn into a noose and tie myself with it. Anyways, let's see, Justin Holiday, Reggie Jackson, DeAndre Jordan returns for a multi-year deal to the Nuggets. He knows where his bread's buttered. I'll give him that. I'll leave him with that. Pistons not doing anything too crazy. Here's what we talking about. Draymond Green says bye Jordan Poole so he can put his feet up and just assert his dominance in Golden State. Agrees to a 4-year deal. I don't think he got exactly what the money was, or roughly got that, but it doesn't matter. Here's another one. Just a fun one. I thought there was complete overpay and everyone just blew it out of proportion. The Houston Rockets paying Fred VanVleet. Call me again, maybe call me naive. Don't know what I'm talking about. Nick, you're stupid. You haven't been watching basketball. He's a good guard. Not great. He's got a title underneath his belt, but from Kai. It's from Kawhi. It's not from Fred. Sorry. And a little bit of Pascal Siakam. But Fred VanVleet, you definitely overpaid for him. Houston had the most cap space, I think double than the next team, if I'm not mistaken, roughly like 53 million. They spent a little bit. Dylan Brooks joining him a long way, and Jacques Landale beats me, kiddo. As long as you don't spill any on me, I don't care. Fred VanVleet, yeah, this was one of the bigger names. Like I said, I went over it on Friday. The list of the most sought after free agents, according to a couple lists and analysts and everyone, big basketball eyes, between Irving, Chris Middleton, and Fred VanVleet. Those were roughly all three interchangeable at the top three. Again, it's a big name, but expendable in my mind. I don't know. I don't know what Fred VanVleet brings to the table that the next guy can't possibly produce. I don't know. Maybe is it the defense? Is it the score? He's improved his scoring. It's definitely from 3-point range. I'll give him that. Like I said, not gonna just hate on the dude and dunk on him all day, but smaller than most guards. Again, defender, but sure, but he can get beat. He's not locked down. He's not the glove in any sort of capacity. Houston, if you wanted him, you got him. I'm not even going to say the whole Houston, we have a problem thing. It's not even worth my time. So good luck in your future endeavors in Houston. All three of you, whoever I just mentioned, Dylan Brooks, Jacques Landale, and Fred VanVleet. Good on you. Tyrese Halliburton re-signing in Indiana. Big on them. Good for them. He's going to be a big problem. Obi Toppin as well, joining via trade. That was one of the underrated things I'd like to mention. Just kind of slid under the radar. Big for the Pacers. They're going to be trying to make I think they'll be out there kind of where maybe call me crazy. They might be where the New York Knicks were last year, in like a 4 or 5 spot. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. A little, like I said, a little early to be predicting stuff, but I like that, especially, and again, like this with this Bruce Brown signing as well, just coming off a Denver Nuggets solid, dominant performance in the playoffs. Didn't get past losing two games in a series. It's a pretty good experience right there on that run. a lot. And he actually, I think he had a game or two where it kind of came down to his experience off the bench. So good on him. Pacers doing a solid job. I think they'll be somewhat in contention in the East, in a very low rated East. There's not much going on over there. Let's say Clippers re-signing Westbrook. Hey, what are you doing? That's fine. Hey, the Lakers. Let's see, 7 names. Holy cannoli! Cam Reddish, Therese Prince, Gabe Vincent, like I mentioned earlier, Ryu Hachimura, Hachimachi, Jackson Hayes, D'Angelo Russell re-signing, and Austin Reeves returning as well. I think that would probably be the big one from there. Austin Reeves returning. That's one of the bigger names in there, at least in the top 10, and the names of free agency. So good for the Lakers. They're doing their best. Grizzlies agreeing to a 5-year extension with Desmond Bain. It's I just like that one picture of him. If you know, you know. It's just when he looks like a little kid. He's just yacked. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Derrick Rose was the big free agency. He's coming back to Memphis. He's gonna wear 23. That was just announced, I believe, today or the day after. So uh, upsetting. Again, the rumors got you hyped. You got Bulls fans hyped up in some way. We get maybe a return for Derrick Rose, our MVP. This, that, and the other. And he signs with Memphis. But again, we got Torrey Craig. The Bulls got Torrey Craig. Oh God. Nothing much going on with the Heat. Uh, again with the Bucks, I'll just try and fly through these. Them re-signing Middleton was the biggest one, and that's essentially it. That's why I was like, this is kind of boring, or just nothing's been exciting other than the trades in this free agency. Yeah, I guess so. A lot of people staying put for X amount of money. Chris Middleton being one of those where it would have been nice. It would have been very nice to see, just to spice things up, to maybe add some flavor to some other squads. But staying put, good on him. I know, again, it makes a lot of sense. I would want to continue playing with Giannis Antetokounmpo as well. That's just me being me. But who knows? Who cares what I say? Another good one, along with the LaMelo Ball signing, good for Timberwolves, my secondary team. Anthony Edwards getting his 5-year extension off the rookie contract. Hell yeah, dude. I mean, the good one of the better players in my opinion. Like I said, hopefully not too biased, being that the Timberwolves are my West Coast squad. They're doing okay. They're shucking and jiving. They're making a couple of moves, but it might just be another year where they're chilling around the play-in game, where they're a 5 seed at best, 4 seed. Very hopeful, but in a highly contested, I mean, that's like putting it lightly, honestly. A very, very competitive West Coast. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Like I said, even making the playing game. So do your best, do what you can. Minnesota, I'm rooting for you. Finishing up, Pelicans haven't done much. New York Knicks haven't done anything of note. Victor Oladipo back to the Thunder. Boy, man, he what he could have been. What he could have been. I mean, I feel like his time in Orlando, I think he cut short by a little injury, but he gave them a little bit of hope when they were bad. Uh, yeah, just a lot of opportunity for that kid, and just never really broke through the ceiling. I suppose that'll be a name for sure. I'm sure maybe card investors, somebody invested in him thinking he was going to be the next big thing, and just petered out a little bit too fast. Hopefully they cashed out. Like I mentioned earlier, Patrick Beverly, former Chicago Bull, to the 76ers. Uh, that'll good for him. It'll be good content for him and his buddy Roan. I know he Roan of the Barstool universe he's a Philadelphia guy, so maybe that was just for their podcast. That's good content for them. But again, even on the business side of things for Pat, that's good for their podcast, and playing with, whether we like it or not, he's an MVP, and so in Joel Embiid. So that's going to be fun for them. Not much else going on in there. A lot of 76ers a lot of Suns movement besides the trades. but nothing really of note. So they're gonna, I guess, do their best to solidify what they got. Oh, Eric Gordon, actually, a good little name right there. That'll probably be a solid name coming off the bench. Eric Gordon, little veteran presence to get the secondary guys going. Uh yeah, Jeremiah Grant with the 5-year extension in Portland. I got nothing. If you like paying for him, that's what you get. And then another one was, well, besides Sabonis extension, good job, Sacramento. A-okay. I believe today, not Bradley Beal. What's the guy name? Harrison Barnes also staying with Sacramento. One of those under other one of those names that fly under the radar, but he's a consistent double guy. Very honestly, a solid shooter in the corner. Again, not flashy, doesn't talk smack, doesn't talk really at all, but he gets the job done. He just hasn't really been there to do it. I think he's got a ring with Golden State already, but just hasn't been able to follow through. So that was that. Like I said, following up with the rest of these teams. Spurs, nothing of note. Raptors, nothing of note. Jazz, Wizards. That about does it. Yeah, I mean the Wizards have had their hands all over these trades, so that's been nice to see. I'll quickly look at what the NBA, the official NBA.com tracker, just to get a quick like up to date on what is going on. Yeah, Harrison Barnes staying in Sacramento, good for him. Nothing really. Yeah, but yeah, there you go. Bulls not doing a thing, not adding any new names. I'm just gonna quickly see if they did anything, but again, doesn't really look like it. Let me refresh it and say it so we have all the names, We want to see all of them, not just 5. Andre Drummond, I mentioned that on Friday. I like Andre Drummond, but clearly the cardio isn't there. We're not going to get 35 minutes out of him, and if we did, you'd have a monster. But the age comes into factor, and like I said, I don't know if he's all there competitively. So I'll leave it at that when it comes to Andre Drummond. Still, like I said, still flying through these names. I just looking, just like most things, I'm just looking at the pictures, honestly, looking to see if it went from one Bulls to a different Bulls name. And now, so you'll see like Kobe White's re-signing that isn't updated yet. Like I mentioned in the beginning, or at least when I was talking Bulls, you see how my posture has changed too, just from being excited to not so much excited when I was talking about the Bulls. Yeah, it's disgusting. Puts a bad taste in my mouth talking about the Bulls, and just there's potential. There's always potential in Chicago that you can flip somebody around. We got the money, but just doesn't seem like it wants to be made. Rosters that stick around together just a little too longer than they should, and some sort of magic dies out, and I'm kind of projecting this on both the Bulls and the White Sox right now. It's a shame, and again, the connection being that they're the same owner makes a ton of sense, and you should probably put together a couple hypotheses as to why they're both struggling. And like I mentioned earlier, Connor, but the Blackhawks turning it around, becoming basically the best farm system in hockey now, and the Cubs, maybe only a couple win differences between the White Sox and the Cubs in terms of overall record, but I think that NL Central is much easier to get a hold of, but the Reds are taking a stand. So fingers crossed on that. I guess I got Reds plus 1,700 to win that division. Throwing up a little bit of a prayer. So that's that. I'm like I said, I don't want to sit here and get all flustered and upset about the Bulls right now. We got tons and tons of weeks to do that. We'll leave it with that. That was the free agency talk. With that, like I said, let's get on to greener pastures. A little bit of more exciting things are going on. I look forward to this event very much. So the All-Star game, MLB All-Star game. The stars were announced, reserves were announced. Got some snubs, I suppose, and maybe an update on a couple of injuries that went down. I know, spoiler, Mike Trout, he broke his wrist officially announced. surgery, and we'll have to see how long that goes. Definitely not going to be playing in this All-Star game anytime soon. So let's take a gander at the starters. And like I said, a lot of just overall impression. A lot of Texas Rangers. Yeah, Jonah Heim. Again, I don't know if between Josh Young and Jonah Heim, I don't know if that everyone's all too deserving with these Rangers names, but I know Marcus Simeon's have a very solid season. So is Corey Seager at the shortstop position. So Yandy Diaz joining the Rays side at first base again, well deserved. Mike Trout, you could sit here and argue the best player in baseball shouldn't be playing, but again, most likely now with the broken wrist now coming up, I would only hope that Luis Robert slips into the starters now, but again, we'll see how that goes. Randy Arozarena and Aaron Judge also joining him out in the outfield. Again, crazy considering Aaron Judge has been hurt for as long as he has been, but that's what you get when you get a fan vote. Rounding out is, of course, what would most likely be the starter in the pitching wise and the DH. Shohei Ohtani makes a ton of sense. Yeah, I love the one comparison. I think I heard it on the radio the other day. It would be as if you're not already subscribing to the idea that Shohei Ohtani is just doing Superman type things on this field. It would be as if Patrick Mahomes was doing the things that he was doing under center, being the quarterback that he is, throwing for touchdowns and all the yards that he does, and then flips it around and becomes one of the best defensive ends, just getting sacks left and right, breaking Michael Strahan's sack record, and or he wanted to be a defensive back or something like that, or a middle linebacker. He was leading the league in tackles. Just making that comparison. That's Shohei Ohtani for those that are still living under a rock and not impressed. That's the comparison. That's what he's doing. I can sit here and, like I said, bore you with all those stats that he's leading in on both pitching and hitting, but just take the time to look for yourself. He's on every single list, leading basically every single list. So there you go. Rounding out the reserves on the AL side, Salvador Perez of the Kansas City Royals, Adley Rutschman of the I'm gonna butcher his name, but he's basically the future of the Baltimore Orioles, the switch hitting catcher. Vladdy Jr., Whit Merrifield, Bo Bichette, Jose Ramirez. Again, I'd argue he should probably be starting. Wander Franco just got added. That for a lot of people that might have been what uh, everyone was harping on for a snub, but again, yeah, I think he just waltzed his way in there on some reserve stuff. Luis Robert Jr., like I said, hopefully he gets in the starting position now that we know that Mike Trout will no longer be playing. Austin Hayes, Jordan Alvarez, Adolis Garcias, Kyle Tucker, Julio Rodriguez, I believe, also just got added, and Brent Rooker. Not entirely sure who that is, but there you go. It's Brent Rooker. Come on now, you're just gonna give me some trouble. There we go. This page just doesn't want to. Yeah, now everything just wants to head and go out. So while I'm trying to look at the reserves and everything right now, I guess we'll go ahead and take a gander. I can pull up bit.ly. Says no sub bets again. One risk-free bet up to $500. Must be in Illinois. Must be 21 years or over or older, excuse me, and a gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER if you must. Finally, back online. God, this computer, it's a good, yeah, good. It takes away and it does. So, oh my goodness, nothing wants to load right now. My goodness. Let's see. Let me take a break and actually we'll see. We'll go ahead and reset. So, alrighty, sorry about that. We got everything figured out. On the pitcher sides of things, we got Shohei Ohtani, Garrett Cole, Luis Castillo, Sonny Gray, Nathan Eovaldi, Kevin Guzman, Shane McClanahan, Framber Valdez, Michael Lorenzen, and George Kirby, as well as some relievers, Kenley Jansen, Emmanuel Clase. I mean, that's the guy you want to have. Felix Bautista and Yanier Cano. Excuse me. That was all on the AL side of things. Pretty stacked. Like I said, I mean, of course, White Sox and me would love to see Dylan Cease, but hasn't had the most exciting year, especially numbers wise. Can't, I mean, of course, losing to Oakland, you would expect to get a dub with Cease on the mound and scoring 6 runs, but not enough, apparently. Not enough to beat the worst team ever, arguably. So there's that. I would love to, like I said, I guess tangent on both sides talking about the White Sox, but yeah, I would love to see Dylan Cease there, but hasn't had the year just yet. And reliever side, no one really cracks up to it. Could give up. I guess you wouldn't want to give a pity nod to Liam Hendricks. He just hasn't had the year yet. And if it was a month ago or 2 months ago, I'd have said Joe Kelly, but that's exactly that. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda. That's always about timing with these all star nods. So it's okay. I'm okay with Luis Robert Jr. being one of the only representative for the White Sox. Makes a ton of sense. He's actually absolutely killing it as of right now. Jake Berger would have loved it as well. Would have loved some representation with some burger bombs in the home run derby. But again, beggars can't be choosers when you're 10, 11 games below 500 every single time. So that's where my head's at. That's where we is on the NL side of things. Got let's see the starters. Sean Murphy catching, Freddie Freeman at first, Luis Ariz, well deserved at second, Nolan Arenado, Orlando Arcia, Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, Corbin Carroll out in the outfield, and JD Martinez at the DH spot. Reserves include Will Smith, keep my name out your fucking mouth, Will Smith, Elias Diaz, Matt Olson, Ozzy Albies. I like using him in the show, so I like that. I like to see that he's in this game. Uh, Austin Riley as well. I mean, tons of Atlanta representation here. Hey, Dansby Swanson for the Cubs. They get some. There you go. More Chicago represents. The only batting guy for them though. Pete Alonso, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Luis Castillo. So watch out for any I guess hopefully any nothing catastrophic happens that day. Otherwise, like I'll take the NL for that one. Juan Soto and Jorge Soler rounding out the reserves. Solid squad right there. Pitching wise, Zach Gallen, Spencer Strider, Bryce Elder, Justin Steele, Mitch Keller, Jose Gray, uh, Clayton Kershaw and Marcus Stroman, believing that Kershaw is going to get the nod for the start. And most likely, again, like I said, Otani on the AL side. I think the AL might have the leg up in terms of starting pitching and a couple of relievers as well. Um, at least the starting lineup in the reserve side for the NL is pretty stacked up. Uh, got some real killers right there. But again, even I can't even say even Steven, even Keel. I think the NL starters have a better chance than the AL. But like, I would definitely give the AL pitching the leg up right there over the NL side. So a yin and a yang, something to pay attention to for sure. I think, or Clayton Kershaw might get the start. Zach Gallen definitely deserves the start. He's been having a very nice season. And you can't deny that Marcus Stroman and Justin Steele very much deserve to be out there. Their ERA is as low as it is, and Stroman's been having a solid season, other than I guess the throwing up in the air of whether or not he's going to get traded, the uncertainty there. We'll see how the time comes with the trade deadline right around the corners coming up. A couple of honestly, this was one of the snub names that I kept reading about, but apparently he's looking like he just got added. David Bednar of the Pittsburgh Pirates, again, well deserved, one of the better closers in all of baseball right now. Camilo Doval, Devin Williams, Josh Hader, surprising, but maybe he's turned it around since last season, and Alexis Diaz of the Cincinnati Reds as well. Pretty solid little core. I think this will be a very overall of the names not just not to be named, not to be added as of late. Still no Fernando Tatis Jr. I can, like I said, can quickly pull together a couple other snubs that have been pulled together. This article writer thinks Patrick Bailey of the Giants should have been on there. Paul Goldschmidt, oh there, yeah. Paul Goldschmidt for sure. Ketel Marte of the Diamondbacks. A lot of names, a lot of Diamondbacks, for sure. Like I said, I've already argued that I would say Jake Berger, Dylan Cease, but that's just me. uh, maybe even Ellie De La Cruz, but a little. He has just been called up, but he's been electric. He's definitely been electric. Wander Franco, but I think he's since been named already. I think he just got it added today, so something else to watch. And then again, Fernando Tatis Jr., Brandon Nimmo, he was arguing Christian Yelich. Uh, let's see, he's hitting 330. It says, along with being 8 of 20 in the stolen bases. Worthy selection. That's what it says. Yeah, not the worst, but again, maybe a couple other people having some better years than him. Can't always let's see. They are also throwing in TJ Friedel, Alex Verdugo. He's having a rough little stint. Josh Lowe, Kyle Tucker. I think he just actually got named. Lance Thomas, Jack Swazinski, and Brendan Marsh. Yeah, I think that makes some sense. Definitely makes some sense. No, he actually just got named. Another name starting pitching wise, Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez as well, both from the Twins. I hate seeing other AL Central guys get in there, but well deserved. This Joe Ryan guy is gonna be a problem for some time. He's like 24, 25 years old, so gonna be a big issue for the time being. Zach Heiflin of the Rays, yeah, makes a ton of sense right there. Uh, Alex Cobb of the Giants, he just ruined me out of some money the other night, so I'm not a fan of him right now. Blake Snell turning it around a little bit, and Merrill Kelly of the Diamondbacks. Sure, sure, why not? Yeah, that seems to be. I would subscribe to those names for sure. At least on the snub list of for. Uh, but yeah, it seems like for the most part they got a lot of it right, and is this Fernando Tatis Jr.? Is that just is that the fans slash the players not acknowledging that, hey, shouldn't be being there because you're a cheater? I don't know. I don't know. It's just little slaps on the wrist like that it doesn't look good on paper. Doesn't your the people are still rooting for him to get into the game and whatnot, but takes away a little bit from the contract. So it's the little things that sometimes that can kill, I suppose. Yeah, so that it could be a factor, but hey, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here on that perch and completely subscribe to that narrative. Uh, All-Star game looking like it's going to be fun as always. The pageantry. I'm always. This is one of the most fun weekends. The NBA All-Star week is pretty solid too. That's maybe lost a little bit of its luster, but there's always opportunity with the dunk contest every single time. When it dies, every single time it comes back, it's bigger than ever. So there's that. But I think the MLB All Star weekend or week, whatever. Sometimes it's weird because they'll have like a Monday home run derby, a Tuesday game. And that's exactly what's going on. So between the home run derby, the celebrity softball game, which is actually sometimes worth watching, between all the different characters that they get on there, and then the all-star game itself, very much worth it. I mean, not very I mean, now you're gonna at least some chance that you'll get every single pitching matchup with every single great player, but now we'll actually have a chance to see Otani versus, I wish I didn't put all the things away, but I don't know. Otani versus Luis Ariz or Otani versus Nolan Arenado. So I think that'll be fun. Kershaw versus Otani on the hitting side of things, or Zach Gallen versus Otani on the hitting side of things. Very much exciting. All of it. They'll pull it up. They'll build it up, and hopefully the pitch clock doesn't come too much into a factor. I don't know if that's going to be implemented in the All Star game. It should, but hopefully that doesn't take away if it does. But I think the way that the pace has been all season long, not a lot of times has that been a factor. Shouldn't be an issue. It should be a fun All Star game, no matter what. I'm very much looking forward to that. Around the diamond, around the league. Domingo Herman throws the 24th perfect game in MLB history. My only question simply was, does it count? Or should there be an asterisk simply because it was against the Oakland A's? But then I got slapped up. Well, at least the White Sox did for sure. I got my opinion whipped around. Yeah, it should count, I suppose. I have to agree with that. Now that the White Sox lost 2 out of 3 against them, so yeah, it can count. I'll still put a little asterisk by it. It might be. I mean, I don't have the whole list in front of me or all the rosters and everybody that every perfect game pitcher has had in front of them, but I would argue maybe this one and it, whatever. Oh, Jesus, Zach oh, Jesus Christ, the last White Sox one that happened in 2013. Yeah, I would say that's probably up there with the least exciting, least talked about. Philip Umber, thank you, my brain, for clicking after a couple seconds. Philip Umber, most, I mean, unexcited, least hyped up perfect game, I suppose. I don't know. You can throw that one up to there and debate that till the cows come home. Finally, like I said, around the league, around the diamond, something that might fly under the radar. Aroldis Chapman to the Rangers. Something, that though I wish the White Sox were on top of stuff like this, getting ahead of certain moves, especially a couple weeks before the trade deadline is even supposed to finish up. Getting just adding to throw to getting a rocket of an arm in Aroldis Chapman. The character might not be 100%, but as of now, the arm is there. Kansas City dealing Aroldis Chapman to the Rangers will fly under the radar. Has potential to be, a very underrated move that gets where they need to be. The Rangers are first in their division. I know they just dropped 3 out of 4 to the Houston Astros, who are right on their tail, and that was big for the Astros. But Rangers still very much intact, even losing DeGrom for essentially the next 2 seasons. Still set up to be pretty solid. I would be. It's looking good. It's looking good if you're a Rangers fan. If you're in that franchise right now. That was a good move. That was a very very solid move. Like I said, probably will fly under the radar if you weren't paying attention. If you blink, you missed it type deal. But that will be something that definitely benefits them in the long run. So there you go. That was just my thoughts on that one. Finishing up, that was baseball. That was the big old list, and like I said, snubs. Some of my the best. Yeah, that was the reserves, the snubs, everything that we got from the All Star game coming up. Ought to be fun. Ought to be great. Finally, wrapping this 4th of July themed. I hope maybe if you heard it in the background, a couple explosions for the pyro going off for the wrestling segment that we got, wrapping it up. Let's just quickly talk about this cease and desist thing that I mentioned beforehand at the top. Then we'll get into the Money in the Bank results, and for the sake of time, I'll just talk about it right this second. Jade Cargill not returning to AEW. If that was what's gonna happen, no skin off my bones. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the Shaq and the Shaq match. That was entertaining. It was entertaining to say the least. One of the funniest promos, in my opinion, most unintentionally funny. That was the best part. That it was as serious as it was. You're getting ready for a wrestling match, and you're just going to shoot free throws with Shaq, who's historically one of the worst free throw shooters of all time. Awesome, love it. And he got spirited. The Shaq got speared through that table by Cody Rhodes, and we basically haven't seen both of them since. Crazy, weird how that happens. Either way, Jade going off on her Twitter saying that you like talking to a specific person, like you didn't know me before AEW, but other people did. Sorry, no one knew who you were before AEW. So, character, I don't know, player check, heat check, something. Yeah, pulling the curtain back, and we've seen a little bit more than we should on that one. Don't like it. Don't like the attitude there, but again, It's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not going to lose sleep if Jade Cargill doesn't come back to AEW. Uh, they just a shame because they put a lot of effort and a lot, the 60 and 0. No one's done that on the women's side of things in some time where they would just given this red hot push out of the gate. And yeah, to just sit there and act like you weren't appreciated or anything, or if you're bigger than you what? No, just stop. You became well known because of this. So I don't know. Good luck. Good luck. I hope you come back. That's fine. You're one of the better characters and one of the better promo spots. Like I said, what was in my notes? Yeah, like I said, just the best wrestling. No, not by any means. One of the more brutal wrestlers to watch. Definitely a bathroom break worthy matchup. Even though you were a championship holder in the TBS title for so long, promo skills were good, entertaining, funny at times, actually engaging. But yeah, like when it came to execution overall, didn't hit the mark every single time. There were times that it was like, "Wow, yeah, good job," but that was your ceiling, and I wouldn't expect more than that. So, again, that I'll leave it with that. Not gonna lose sleep over not seeing any more Jade Cargill. If you come back, you come back. Wrestling door is always wide open for you. Uh wrapping it up, like I said, we'll talk cease and desist on the Sami Zayn shirt. This is like again almost like a blink and you miss it type thing. It kind of flew under the radar, even on the wrestling side of things. Maybe I'm looking at it through the wrong lens. You guys can tell me in the comments. Sami Zayn had a My Dog T-shirt that was officially ran by WWE and whatnot, but Pro Wrestling Tees threw it up there as a raffle for their for a charity event for Sammy's. I don't want to get this wrong, for Sammy's charity, Sammy for Syria. But because again, like I said, it's a WWE T-shirt, WWE licensed T-shirt. They had to put the hammer down, and they had to retract everything. It was what, $5 a ticket, unlimited amount of tickets that you could buy. And this T-shirt, this My Dog T-shirt, the big lore around it, that it was signed by 22 wrestlers, including Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega. Like I said, many more included on there as well, but those were some of the bigger ones. It's a little messed up, or like I said, messed up. Yes, like I said, for the idea that the proceeds were everything's going to 100% going to charity. Just the idea of having this, I don't know, just such a big like 22 autographs on this shirt with like the main event caliber names I just rattled off right there. Those were only just a few of them. Big deal, kind of a big deal. Very unfortunate that it couldn't go to a good home. And again, that all the proceeds, anything that was already made, had to be refunded for that reason. I get it. Legally, I understand, but come on. Yeah. Lawyers got a lawyer, and they got to ruin everything that is fun and what's just shaping up to be actually something cool. Slipped through the cracks. I feel like this was something that was supposed to happen before. They may have gotten away with it before, but not this time. Like I said, I felt like it was up on the Pro Wrestling Tees site before, maybe a year or so ago. They already did this giveaway, but yeah, this not again, not pulling the wool over WWE's eyes twice. So yeah, very unfortunate. But again, legally, I understand. I get it. I don't need people to sit there and lecture me and like, oh, this, that, and the other, and you understand. No, 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 I get it. I understand. It's just come on, come on, come on. It hurts. It hurts on multiple levels. Being the wrestling fan that I am, being just just it doesn't even matter AEW, WWE, just wrestling in general, that a wrestling fan couldn't get it, a collector couldn't get it in some way, some form. Like I said, it's just gonna sit there on a shelf, or maybe it was auctioned off on Colt Cabana's Whatnot, on Pro Wrestling Tees Whatnot page. I haven't kept up with it exactly, but yeah, just a little messed up on the lawyer's side. So shame, 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 shame. Definitely a shame. Yeah, not much really on there. Like I said, I get it. Lawyers got to do what they got to do, and I don't want to harp on the WWE, but it's dumb. It sucks. But I get it. If they want their cut of the pie. If they're not going to get it, nobody's going to get it. Take their ball and go home. Wrapping it up today with some money in the bank results. I I could stay, like I said, with today, everything was a day off. I laid around, lounged around, extended my day, and actually took the time to watch Money in the Bank. Played it back, just the cool parts, just what I wanted to watch. So yeah, spoiler: I'm not going to be talking about Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey, the tag team match. Don't care. And didn't get to the Bloodline Civil War. I already saw the big hype, the big spoilers is that Jay or Jimmy got the pin. I already said it on Friday. I lost all interest in this storyline. Yeah, just played back both of the men's and women's battle royal, men's and women's Money in the Bank. Played back the Intercontinental title, played back most of Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio's match, and then was halfway engaged on Rollins and Finn Balor as well. Like I said, it was a little later, and kind of just wanted to get to recording, so I just hopped on there and started doing that. So let's plow through the results and just overall thoughts, takeaways from it. Yeah, I'll just start off with how they. I'll just go. Yeah, I'll go in chronological order as the pay per view broke down. Similar to both men's and women's Money in the Bank. The men's match start off slow. Both of them start off slow. Slowly but surely, kind of. Besides really the last few spots, being one of them being the catastrophic Ricochet landing on, or Logan Paul essentially landing on his head and shoulder, Ricochet doing the Spanish fly from the second rope and not really landing and executing all too well. That was one of the bigger ones, of course. Every time LA Knight got into the ring, huge pop, huge roar. I mean, again, spoiler, like we're gonna get to the result, but they dropped the ball, not letting him win this. This was ridiculous, and I'll just play it back right now. I gotta don't want to break my arm, pat myself on the back, but here it is. I mean, I gotta play it from. This is from the live show. This is from a day beforehand. So here you are. Here I am.
I don't know. He's proven time and again. The match has been pretty solid. The mic work has been great. And again, just naturally over. It should go to LA Knight. So, with that being said, congratulations to Damian Priest, as he will most likely win the men's Money in the Bank. Uh, I don't know. That's where my mindset goes. Like I said, you got a bunch of talent in here for sure. You know, Ricochet is going to jump off the ladder and he's going to take out all these guys in one giant spot.
It was Butch.
Santos Escobar is probably going to pull out something out of his bag again. He'll have a couple spots right there. Such a shame to see Booch up there and not.
God, that's where I kind of peter off. But yeah, thanks, Past Nick, for calling that one. Definitely called that one without a doubt. Uh, what can I say? I mean, they can make that interesting as enough, but everyone wanted to see LA Knight get the cash in or get the briefcase, eventually knowing somewhere down the line that he's gonna get something. But now there's no guarantee of anything. Of course, Triple H, well, he's just gonna have to keep looking down the line and we'll have something creative for him. Blow it out your ass. We didn't want to see what you have creatively for him. It's gonna be something stupid. It's gonna end up with him losing most likely. It's drop the ball with Cody Rhodes, drop the ball with LA Knight, drop the ball with Shinsuke Nakamura. Man, how many more times can they keep fucking everything up? And people just keep returning, just blindly. That's always my issue is that's where the blind fans that are just willingly just let everything go. That's where the issue is. If you want to be a smart fan, yeah, all over the place. Like I said, focusing on the Money in the Bank itself. Good, not great. I've seen a bunch of people flying off the handles and saying that Money in the Bank, the that was much better than Forbidden Door. No, check yourself at the door, dude. It was not even close. Just because you, again, when you see a better show than what you get every week on Raw, you get one little notch above that. Like, oh my god, it was the greatest thing ever. It was not. Good matches, not great, solid spots. Overall, the match, the night wasn't a catastrophe, so you can give them that. But like I said, better than all these other different shows. No, can't sit there and say that by any means. And like this was almost a forgettable Money in the Bank at the end of the day. Besides a handful of spots, like I said, Pete Dunne's or Butch's moonsault off the ladder, which kind of petered out. Io Sky doing that twice. Kind of screwed them over in the women's Money in the Bank, but they probably forgot 2-3 hours after that. Maybe it was just me, like I said, skipping through it on times 4, just the recency bias. But uh, can't really think all too much else. The Logan Paul spots, a little too much Logan Paul on this one. Uh, just between him, a little too early on the Shinsuke spot, didn't break the ladder. And then of course the ending spot with the him landing on his head essentially. A lot of Logan Paul, but very much of a dark horse MVP every single time for matches like this is the High Flyer. So shout out to Ricochet, who carried a lot of good spots, a lot of good parts of this match, and I guess a well deserved little rivalry showing. That'll get some spotlight between him and Logan Paul. Cool, good. I like that. Just the natural rivalry that they can feud, that they can spark up. Like, oh, you tried to kill me, you tried to murder me in that spot. So, oh, I didn't mean to. I was just trying to do something. I don't know. It's as cringe as the WWE dialogue is already. So there you go. That was, like I said, and then Damian Priest just pulling all the air out of the O2 arena. That pun intended, honestly. And then him getting the dub on that one. So all in all, the Money in the Bank. That match had its good spots, good, not great. Uh, it was very early on. Very early, it was like it didn't feel like, I don't know if it was going to be rushed towards the end again. It's like they weren't going for the briefcase enough, and they kind of jammed it all in at once. Maybe someone got lost track of time or something like that. Again, there's that. Let's see, women's tag match. Don't care. Really, honestly, don't care. And then the idea of Ronda Rousey going back to UFC, good. Sayonara, good riddance. Don't care. I like this Gunther match. Small sample size, but actually in terms of just actually seeing some wrestling, some holds, not just boring headlocks and shit like that. Though some good leg locks and all that. Riddle and Gunther chopped each other, kicked the shit out of each other. Uh, the the smack, the chop of the ankle, interesting, but it made sense. Just Gunther's matches, Walter's matches, they're methodical. It's old school in the sense that he basically harps on a body part, beats the tar out of that, really works that. You get a beam of hope that the face can come back and beat Gunther, but all in all, that Gunther's in control the whole time. So it's good. It's fun. This was a fun little in between match that people, good palate cleanser. But this led up to after, like I said, the chops to the ankle and then the ankle lock tapping out by Riddle, Gunther retaining. That led to Drew McIntyre returning. Got the pop there. So a lot of the speculation online is Drew McIntyre beats Gunther for the IC title sometime soon, probably SummerSlam. Gunther goes on to winning the Royal Rumble this time after coming up short last year. And then I can't jump ahead that far, but I would give him the title. I would give him the world title, the universal title to be exact, but we'll see how that goes. Probably going to be building up for a Cody versus Roman. Excuse me. Hairball. Gunther retains against Riddle. I like the match. I liked it. A lot of people, like I said, you're not going to get high flying spots. You're not going to get tons of craziness. I like how those matches are spaced out, how it works. Dom versus Cody. It was real. It was actually real. And I watched it and I was not impressed by any means. It was, I liked what they did enough of smoke and mirrors to hide, to disguise the fact that Dominic still has no earthly idea what he's doing. Still not a clue. Cody did enough. If this was a shot opportunity to give Dominic the rub, he did not get it. He is not going to live up to any sort of entertaining ways besides just being an ass wipe. And sooner or later, that heat will disperse. It will go away unless you do something truly controversial and then you get it back. But I don't see him coming up with something that isn't, cringy or something like that. You can't keep relying on, can't keep whoring out the Eddie Guerrero name and saying that, oh, he's doing the Three Amigos. That's not honoring Eddie. It's disrespecting him. Yeah, this whole thing might be disrespecting Eddie Guerrero and the entire Mysterio family at this point. I don't like it. It's not good. He's not good wrestling. Again, this idea he's getting nuclear heat. Sure, that's gonna come and go unless he does something to improve on his skills, and has not happened. And like I said, at best, his mic skills are mediocre, and he gets heat just because he did at the time. That's all gone now. Yeah. So good for Cody in the sense that he came in there, made himself still look good. An Alabama slam and then a crossroads, and hey, how you doing? Wash your hands of it. It was over. It was just nice looking at Rhea. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, overall, like I said, if you were looking to get the rub, Dominic, you did not impress haters like myself. So yeah, prove me wrong, but at this point, I don't want to see anything that you got anymore. Yeah, I'm checked out. Sorry, Dommy. Then John Cena made his return, made his little plea for, oh my god, the English crown is the greatest crown of all time. Blow it out your fucking ass. This is your whole American hometown hero. On the 4th of July, I'm saying this. John Cena, you are not an American hero anymore. You're done. Take your Osama bin Laden speech. We have caught and taken care of Osama. That Extreme Rules speech, done. I don't care. No longer redeems you of anything else. Telling English fans across the pond that they're the best fans of all time, that they deserve this, that, and the other. Right there, pal. Right there. You don't I was gonna play the little soundbite of him and his friends. You don't get to be with your friends anymore. You pissed me off beyond. I was mad. I'm sick of seeing. I don't like your wrestling career. Disrespectful to everything. Your 5 moves of doom, blow it out your ass. You can maybe one of the best on mic guys of all time. But everybody, The Rock still runs away with you any time of the day. I would argue that probably at this point, MJF can keep up with you. Take that as you will. If you find that disrespectful that a 25, 24-year-old is basically doing the exact same thing than you, and it's better, you're just good at talking. That's good. And people can, people are they're easily deterred if you're good at talking. It is a mind game like that. You can, even if you're not the best at talking, you can get better which I'm trying to do, and you can convince people and make make some dumb people can think you're actually better than you are, which he's done. Congratulations. But I see right through it. And honestly, John, talking directly to you right now, you're wrong. you're flat out wrong that the English crowd is better than it. No, it should be and any other fan base in America, the Philly fan base, the LA crowds, even the Dallas crowd, Chicago crowds, and of course I'm talking directly to you as well. Be disrespected. This was a shot at us. This was a shot at us. And I'm not taking this one lying down. Absolutely not. Blow it out your ass, John Cena. That the English crowds are just because they make little sing-songy chants and they do all this and they got their tea and fuck you. Honestly, Chicago has come up with the stuff that sticks, not just little sing-song. Okay, I'll give it to you. Oh, hey Bailey, I want to know would you be my girl? That's fine. That's fine. That's funny. But they're not doing anything original. They're ripping off songs. Again, if that's your cup of tea, go for it. But not going to sit there disrespect us, actual wrestling fans, real, true, smart wrestling fans that know what's going on, and then you're just going to sit there, dangle a carrot in front of their face, and say, "You guys are the best. You guys are going to get a WrestleMania." Fuck you. Fuck you. You know you're lying. You know you're lying. If it was real, if it was genuine, that is your idea of the best crowd ever, you're wrong. So flat out wrong. I'll take 20,000 Chicagoans over 100,000 of your English fanboys every single day of the week. We will have a better turnout. We will have better chance. We will have a better energy the entire time. I don't care. I do not care. Take it, not measurable by any sort of way. I do not care. The Chicago crowds, the American crowds, far better than anything that is going to come across the pond. Call me an ignorant American, call me an ignorant wrestling fan, just a fanboy or maybe just a little biased because like I said, I've been all around, been to Vegas, been to Florida shows, been to some Ohio shows. I think I got a good grasp of what's going on in the energy that comes around. So yeah, it was just like I said, at the very least, if it was genuine, you're wrong. And you gotta react. Congratulations, you got a reaction out of me. You got one. But at the end of the day, it's just not true. The English crowds, I don't care. It's not the best. Do not give a fuck. Not true. Not true. Thankfully, a nobody I don't care about named Grayson Waller came out, tried to, I don't know, fix whatever's left of that one, but couldn't give a shit. I guess we're just more premium live events not coming to America. Cool. If you're excited for that, you're like, oh my god, that's good for them. They get to enjoy it over there. It's because diminishing over here only because the product is shit. It's not our fault that your product is shit, WWE. So get your fucking ass together. Put up something that we'll actually cheer for and not have to go over there and stroke the English side's ego. Oh, you're the best fans ever. Oh my god, you deserve this. This is because of you. Right there, pal. Right there. Yeah, I'm done on that one. Man, women's Money in the Bank. I won't sit there and play the same thing I played. I was similar. I was like, it's probably gonna be Baylor or Io Sky. Overall in the match, like I said, similar to the men's match. Slow, not a lot of crazy spots. Laughing at the idea that for the first 5 minutes, Zelina Vega's just trapped underneath the ladder. She's so tiny and frail that she can't lift a ladder off of her, but she's gonna have to pick up a ladder to climb the ladder the entire match. Wrestling logic. Let's see what else really. Io Sky, like I said, the only thing that took away from there was like a cool moonsault. Wish I would have been pissed as fuck as soon as Pete Dunne came back in the back. I would have slapped the piss on him. Are you kidding me? You're gonna just take that away from us? You're gonna take that? You guys have everything. You're gonna take. You got the table spot. You're gonna have Logan Paul. You're gonna have one of the hottest wrestlers right now in LA Knight. Can you leave us something? You couldn't leave Io Sky anything. Still landed the mark. Solid moonsault, nevertheless. So good for her. Uh, honestly, I will remember this ending more than I will remember the men's ending. I thought that was a very interesting, intriguing thing. The whole idea of handcuffs being involved in this, I was immediately deterred. I was like, oh, they're just gonna Becky Lynch will just get handcuffed and she's just done for the rest of the match. No, she flipped it, able to reverse it on Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus. So I was wrong there. Good job. But then, like I said, it had like, oh, how this is going to be integrated more seems interesting. Fish hooking Bailey with it. That was actually pretty good. And then that all sets up for Bailey and Becky Lynch getting handcuffed together in between the ladders so they can't keep going at the because science, they have their can't just break through matter unless they wanted to break the ladder post. It wasn't going to happen. So that was a fun way to end it. Io Sky climbing over Bailey. Bailey earlier also kicking Io Sky off of the ladder while she was about to win in the first place. There so some riffs in damage control. I'm sure that Io Sky winning and having the briefcase might ultimately take care of that faction, but we'll see how the time goes. Overall, seemed like they all gave it their all. A couple of parts where I did go, what the fuck was that? Straight up, what was that? So didn't have as many, didn't have really any. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention as much, but definitely the men's match didn't have as many times like that. But yeah, the women's side, I was like, what was that? What's going on? So a little tidying up on that. Safety wasn't first on this. I would say safety last and priorities on this match. So get it together. Get it together. Overall, like I said, good, not great, but solid way to end it, and a comparable winner. Someone that we wanted to see, something that we wanted to actually happen. So good job. Good job. I was 2 for 2, but in terms of what we actually wanted to see, that was it. And then one of the last matches I paid attention to, of course, the Civil War, the Bloodline, what everyone worries about. I don't care. I simply do not care. Let this rivalry die. Let it end. Let all the drama end. I want to see matches. I want to see actual competitive wrestling, not just Roman Reigns in there. Who, yeah, I mean, I don't. His matches are awful. They're awful. Don't care. They're awful. I didn't really pay attention. Honestly, I tried to, but was a little run of the mill. I was expecting a little bit more considering these guys are just up there. But yeah, little lax. We got the small threat considering that Damian Priest won earlier. He came out later on and, teased getting in there, getting involved, but then they argued essentially that, oh, that might have been more of a distraction on Finn Balor's side. So again, could cause rifts in these factions, but Rollins retaining after Finn Balor put on quite a barrage of moves. And I was like, damn, what's going on? Is there going to be some sort of big finish, some big counter to counter all these moves? And no, it's just pretty flat. Flipped them, countered him with whatever. Ended up leading into one curb stomp, and that was the ball game. That was it. 1, 2, 3. Rollins ends it with that. I don't. Maybe just too early to judge, and maybe just spitballing and riffing a little too much. Is the curb stomp is the curb stomp to the WWE is what the coffin drop is to AEW? I don't know. No, I mean a curb stomp would actually be painful and knock you out. I'll pull it back, but it should have been a follow up. I don't know. Maybe finished. I don't know. Either way, it makes sense. I'm fine with Rollins winning and retaining. Just seemed like a little flat, little bit of wet fart of an ending. I expected a little bit more. Like I said, try to be engaged as much as I was in this match. It was a little later in the day, but sundowners were kicking in. But yeah, just I higher expectation, I suppose. Could have put in a little bit more when Gunther and Riddle ended up being the best wrestling match on this entire card, which it's not the worst praise, but I expected a little bit more out of your world heavyweight champion in Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. That was just me. And that was the WWE and the Money in the Bank card. Overall, decent card. I over did I go over Cody Rhodes and Dominic? Yeah, I kind of did already. I over I shot over everything. Yeah, just sick of Dominic Mysterio matches and everything. That was interesting. It was an interesting card. It was a good fan. I won't harp on them too much. The fans chanted and they were interactive, and that's nice and that's fun. But to sit there and say that they're the best fans ever, I get it. Everyone takes offense to it, but I think they were trying to be genuine and really trying to sell that. If that's what they really felt, they're just wrong. So never have I really seen that much of just like trying to milk it like that or really trying to just suck off a crowd as much as they did right there. And yeah, just came off really desperate and I didn't like it. And like I said, when you're just telling lies, I don't like it. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I'm telling the WWE that they're just straight up telling lies. So that was that. That was the WWE Money in the Bank card. That was the results. That was essentially everything here. Like I said, I'll recap really quick just like I said, make a go home happy little outro. Check us back on Friday. Get the glare off of this bad boy. Be breaking open some 2022 Panini Select NFL. Just doing some ripping and some tearing. And whoever we rip based on whatever we mark as the card to talk about, that's what team we'll end up talking about. And that'll be fun on the Friday show. That'll probably be, maybe I can stretch it over 2 segments. We'll see how it goes. Love talking football. Love talking football. Love talking to you over here. Thank you again for joining in for episode 25. Try to make the little sound bite, but it didn't work. Let's see. Join us, like I said, join us on Friday, 1 p.m. Central, twitch.tv/SportsTownShy. Got you over there for anything that we didn't get to any over there as well. Let's see. Follow us on the Twitter at Degenerates. Like and subscribe right here on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. Like I said, if you're stumbling upon us, appreciate you. Keep up, and we'll like I said, we'll just be churning out episodes left and right. Anything else? I think that's about it. Hopefully you had a happy, healthy 4th of July. Still got some fireworks blowing off as we're wrapping it up over here. Collect all your fingers, put them on ice. I've also heard the thing, if it blows off, put it in your mouth if you don't have one of those. Weird, but keeps it moist. I don't know. Maybe again, one of those things you might just hear and you keep passing it on until someone proves you wrong. I don't know. Always lingering on these outros as I do. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you next time for episode 26 of No Substitute for Sports. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see ya.